Welcome to Buccas Outpost, Australia's newest Milsim gel ball field. We're located here 3 hours and 15 minutes west of the Gold Coast, 650 acres of flat Aussie bush, prime for Milsim use. We're standing here on the entry road on the way in. Behind me you can see some of the base camp pad in the background here. That whole area is safe zone, green zone, no shooting at all. All around, 2 kilometres that way, nearly 1,500 metres that way, game on, gel ball field. So we're here at the entry to the southern forward operating base. So we have one team going to be base camped and starting with their operating base at the southern end of the property, and the opposing team at the far end at the north. So the southern operating base is lined with some tank traps, which as you're walking in, you can start to see about 20-25 metres out. So as we've passed these first hedgehogs, to my left here, behind your camera right now, there is a series of trenches. If you have made it as far as these tank traps, you are within 15 metres of forward defence trenches. To our right and directly in front is more trench networks. Let's go and have a look. All right, we're here on one of the walls of the very far eastern trench line. As you can see, the trench line running behind me, lined with tank traps, heading on into the southern operating base. So here at the very southern end of the southern fob, in that direction about 60 metres away is the campsite for the southern team. This is a work in progress. By the time we get to first game day, we should have 5 or 6 buildings within this compound as an operating base, a galley and a med centre for the southern team. We're going to venture north now towards the outpost and through to some of the other areas of Buccas Outpost. So we're now walking north. We're about 150 metres north of the fob where we were showing the trenches and the hut. To our right is the boundary of the property, which as you can see on the map, looks like a very wide clearing, and it is. It's a trunk line, so we do not go on that trunk line. That is our emergency vehicle access for the eastern side of the property. To my left, to the west here, is the base camp. That's the green zone, that's the safe zone. That's where game control would be operating from. And if anyone needs a break, that's where you can go. Directly through this way, around about another 600 metres or so, is the outpost, which is a central point of interest. That is the main key domination point for the property. As you can see on the map, we've got several different icons and places, different points of interest, which can be used in many different ways for gameplay. Hi, here we are, centre of field in relation to north and south. This is Buccas Outpost. Central of field, southern fob, roughly 800 metres. Northern operating base, roughly 800 metres. And we have about 1,000 metres this way of playing field, but only about 100 metres to that boundary. So we're in the central section, north to south. This is the outpost. By game day, we'll have some camo netting up around here, a little bit more shelter, a bit of sun shelter. But this is going to be one of the central positions as a main domination point because it is central between camps and operating bases. As you can see, we've just got some outward defences of some timber barricades, but as I said, there will be some shelter in here as well come game day. Just walking along here from south to north along one of the clearing, the main trails. The whole property has got a grid reference kind of thing of small trails, easy access both for vehicle, for emergency use, and also of course for the players moving around. Easy for reference on the map to work out where you are, and easy walking without having to push your way through the Aussie bush. We're going to head further west now heading over to the main supply route as to where the fuel depot crossroads is, Ghost Gum Gully, and towards the minefield. Let's go. As we are in the Aussie bush, must always be having a good drink with my friend Prickly Pear Cactus here. Cactus are strewn all over the property. Just goes to show how Australian this is. One thing to mention, just weeks ago, this place had 350 millimeters of rain in 1 week. This was all underwater. Over this way is quite wet underfoot. Just makes common sense. Don't go through it, go around it. It's plenty of wet. If no one's going through it, you know the enemy's not in there. Let's keep going. Heading north along the main supply track. From behind us, the track heads all the way to base camp. Where we were last on the smaller track was about 200 meters to our east. Property boundary is about 400 meters to our west. This track is semi-central, heading up towards the crossroads, which is our fuel depot point of interest. We'll have a look at that one right now. So we're here on one of the side tracks off the main MSR route that runs through the center of the property. Heading this way, heading west towards a creek. As you can see here, we're going to walk on into a local fuel depot. We've got some security boom gates, some security huts, one on the east side and one on the west side of the area. As we head on through, we also have an intention of building some timber barricade outward security posts as well over time, but at the moment we haven't got that done. We've got the 2 huts and we've got our little fuel station. So this is a point of interest. It's probably most likely to be used as either a domination point or a key area for different activities. And as we continue on the trail, this is called Short Lane. As we continue on the trail as if we're heading towards the creek, we do have the second main trail that runs from our left to right. That is vehicle access as well for any emergency needs. With our second boom gate. Through here about 60 to 70 meters is where the terrain really starts to change, that you will have seen in other areas of this video. It gets quite green, starts getting a little bit undulated and heading into the creek bed. Enter this area at your own risk. This 80 odd meter square area may or may not be booby trapped. The local warlord has got a gold mine hidden in this area and he doesn't want you to find it. So we're going to stay out and head this way to Ghost Gum Gully. Let's go. We're heading in now to Ghost Gum Gully at this medium kind of southern end of the property, off to the west of base camp. As you can see, the foliage is very, very different. It's quite thick in here, quite dry underfoot, good cover underfoot. We have a little bit of a minor track through here, and as we head left into the thick bush to the side here, we will come into the back of Ghost Gum Gully. Now if you can start to spot, if you can start to see, this is the back end of what we kind of call a bit of a machine gun pit, dig out. I'm assuming you can see it right there. Beyond this first barricade, you will see the first dig out pit, and then you will see a trench network beyond that. The tree coverage in here is very much pine, as opposed to the thin, almost branchless trees at the other end of the property. As you can see, that pit there is the best part of 4 foot deep, and heading into 3, if not 4, different trenches at this side of Ghost Gum Gully. I'll drop on into the trench. We got about 4.5 foot of cover. I can completely disappear into the trenching. Obviously, if I'm being tacked from this direction. 2 more forward trenches, one here and one over here. I'll come out this way. Further 15 meters to the left here, we have a nice deep machine gun pit right under our beautiful Ghost Gum. 20 meters to my left, we have a further trench network. So this outpost, this Ghost Gully section, is very, very, very well protected. Thank you to these trenches. We've even had kangaroos in our trenches. Check out the paw prints. Okay, we're now entering the northern forward operating base. As you can see here, we've got some green netting all the way around, well, 3/4 of the way around the operating base. We are currently near the northern end of the property. As you can see, slightly off to our right, there's the clearing into the trunk line, which is the boundary. This northern fob has got 2 frontal entry points. We're heading to the one on the right hand side. Over here, best part of 6 foot high netting, can allow security to shoot out over it, and obviously if you can get close enough you can shoot over and into it. We'll enter in through this entry here. Once we get inside the fob, at the moment we've got 1 structure, 1 building. We do intend to have at least half a dozen in here by the time we're finished building. And we've fortified it a little bit with some gel-proof barricades to allow some security once you're in here. Now, we've built this one fairly big with the intention of the northern team's camp is 150 meters beyond to the furthest boundary of the property, which, as you know, the camps are out of bounds, so that's safe sleep zone. This is rather large, so that if someone wanted to set up a hoochie, have a little bit of a relax in-game, they can do. They're insecure. It will, of course, still be eyes on at all times because you're in-game. The other main entry to the frontal fob is on the opposite side over here. Now, the main direction of the whole venue playing field is this way, but we also have full access, of course, all the way in from the western side. So this fob could quite easily be attacked on best part of, 250 degrees of property. Very unlikely to get attacked through here because that is the boundary. And then, of course, they have their camp at the back. At the rear of the compound, it is currently still open. We do plan to be able to enclose that a little bit more, not fully, but bring it in another 20 or 30 meters either side so that we can bring that in so it's just a rather large rear entry as opposed to 1/4 of the back open. The single structure we've currently made, we've got some leftover timber still in there. This one's got a steel sheeting roof for full sun protection. And as I said, we do plan right where you're standing, over to the left, into the rear here. Several other buildings that are not necessarily security huts like this one with windows looking out. These might be more of a sealed building for some comms and operations control. So this is the northern fob, northern camp, which is nothing to see. Here we are. We are currently 960 meters from base camp. We are around 1150 meters from the southern operating base. We are roughly 750 meters from the fuel depot. We are around 1.3 kilometers from the Ghost Gum Gully. And that's our main play space. All right, we're here at the heart, pretty much the dead center of Buccas Outpost, 650 acres, gel ball site. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it spikes your interest and that you'd like to come out and play a Milsim or a battle sim or a Milsoft out here at Buccas Outpost. 650 acres, open land, objectives, camping, base. We've got it all. We hope you like what you see and you want to come and join us. Keep your eyes peeled online, Facebook, everything like that for event details and when we are out here again for our next building adventure. Thanks, guys.